Right, that's it. Today, I'm starting at the gym. Do phase number 1. I roll these up. Let's go. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I've seen this before. Oh yeah, man, I can really feel the burn. Simon Miller, the bald a-hole here, along with Gerald, the fitness mascot. Look at that little flip he just did. Amazing. Don't worry about him right now. Just know that he's there to make you feel better about yourself. We are going to be doing something, I guess it's a little bit different depending on how often you watch this channel. And it all goes out to my man Callum. He got in touch with me, sent me a message. He says, I really have never seen a video like this. And he even sent me a bunch of questions that he'd like answering. I was like, well, look, without audience, without people watching it, I wouldn't get anywhere with this channel. So I like to give back. I was quite intrigued by the idea, so I thought we would do it. We're essentially going to go through, I suppose, what every question or every thought you may have when you first start working out, trying to get fit, going to a gym, and hopefully you can use that and it can make you feel a little bit more confident, especially if you're in an area right now where you're locked down. When it opens again, maybe you're going to have the confidence to go in and do it. Now, given that the comments always go, this guy's not big enough or jacked to give me any advice, okay, you can turn the video off now. I'm not sneaking into your lounge and smashing you overhead with YouTube, am I? You have the power. Why are you even wasting your time down there, brah? Just move on. Right, so basically, the way that I have concocted this together is that, yes, this is the ultimate guide to starting at the gym. But it's obviously not an ultimate guide because I'm only one guy and, you know, I can only do so much. But let's do it. So the first question that was put out there is, should I start training at home before I go to a gym? Now, my answer would actually be no. I think the best thing you can do is bite the bullet, right in there, go to a gym and start working out that way, because eventually you're going to have to wind up there anyway if you want to continue to see the progress and evolution and the fitness gains that we all long for and that we also desire. There's nothing wrong with starting at home if you are trying to get a little bit of confidence and a little bit of, well, just an idea of what your body can handle, but you are never going to be able to do a good workout at home as you can do in a gym, because they've obviously invested thousands of pounds to give you the equipment in order for you to have the workout that you want. If you do want to start working out at home, I wouldn't invest in any kind of equipment. I would do push-ups, I would do pull-ups, I would do crunches, I would do squats, I would do burpees, I would do all things like this just so your body can get used to those motions, the movements, and again, see how you feel with resistance training. There's no point wasting your bunch of money on a setup that eventually is just going to go under your bed or in a cupboard or in a corner of the room, and it's just going to piss you off because you're like, oh, I feel so trapped in here now because apparently you bought the biggest weights ever. It's always going to be more beneficial to go to a gym mentally too. It's just the way that it works, because you are there, your body instinctively knows, oh, I'm here to do a certain task, a certain job. In this instance, it's to lift weights, to do cardio, whatever. So that's what I would do. If you want to do a week at home, I suppose that would be quite good, but I wouldn't push yourself. Well, you can push yourself as hard as you want. Just go to a gym. That's my personal opinion. I think, talking about it from a physical point of view, you just want to get your ass to a gym and you just want to start getting into it, because the sooner you do that, the more comfortable you're going to become. Now, I'm going to use the actual specific questions here because I think it's important. And the next question, of course, is what gym should I join? What questions should I ask when considering a membership? Will I actually use all the additional benefits? Should I take them up on the offer of a PT? If I do use a PT, when should I use a PT? And will I be stiff if I book 3 PT sessions in the first 2 weeks, etc.? I go to my gym because it's cheap and because it's close to me. That is it. Now, again, you can argue maybe because I'm more of an advanced lifter, I'm not looking for any additional benefits, but you do not need a personal trainer when you first start out, unless you feel completely clueless and completely lost, or that if you don't have any accountability, you're not actually going to go to the gym. Do not forget, while some gym memberships will have an offer of, I'll get 1, 2, 3 PT sessions, they are always going to charge you eventually. Unless you are paying loads for your gym membership, you are never going to get that built in for a prolonged period of time. So you don't want to start getting comfortable with somebody or start getting used to going to the gym with a PT and then be like, oh, that guy's gone, and you'll be like Hansel and Gretel when they're lost in the woods eating breadcrumbs and they get burned by the witch. Do they die? I think they die. Those fairy tales were absolutely flubbed up. But a PT is obviously going to be good. It's like going to school. If you went to school when you were doing maths for the first time and you just went into a class and there was a book there, you're going to learn some things, but if you actually have somebody educating you, you are going to go quicker on that journey. But this is why 2020 is so great, because you can watch videos like this. There is a treasure trove of books and online articles that can teach you this stuff, but you may not be that way inclined. Again, you may need someone just to shout these things into your face. But what I would say, this is what nobody does, if you are going to get a personal trainer, Ask them what they're doing and ask them why they're doing it. It's that classic, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but teach him how to fish and he'll eat forever because he can do his own fishing. That's what you want to take away from a gym. You shouldn't want to have a PT for the rest of your life. You should probably want to have them in periods. So you have them for 6 weeks and you do your own thing and then maybe you find a different one, whatever. So, make sure you extract information from them. They should be teaching you. It should be like a teacher-student relationship. And then if you can't book in a session or you are busy or you do have to shift around your gym hours, you still know what you're doing and why you're doing it. The why is the most important part. If I just look at you and go, I'll take your face and rub it into a pizza, you'd be like, but why am I doing this? And if it turns out the reason, well, it's just entertainment, it made me laugh, you're like, well, I'm not going to do that because that's not beneficial to me at all. So do make sure you ask questions, take notes, do all of that kind of a stuff. There's nothing wrong with booking 3 PT sessions in the first 2 weeks. You can book as many PT sessions as you want. If they're a good PT, they will either encourage you to do more or they will say, you've got it, hit the nail on the head. And I get it, the cynicism, the cynical crowd be like, oh, they just want to get money out of you. Well, that's a bad PT. And you don't want that. So in terms of what gym you should join, pick one that just looks nice and that you think you'll be comfortable in because they're all pretty much the same. Even if you want to go to a David Lloyd, which over here is quite an expensive gym, I would never go there. I don't like the vibe and I don't like the price. But if that's what's going to work for you and it's going to make you excited to go there, then that's the one you go to. Next up is what should my workout plan look like? And basically what should my split be? Should I do heaviest exercises first? What is a compound? Let's do these one at a time. What should my workout plan look like? When you first go to the gym, you can kind of get away with whatever you want. Your body is going to be shocked. Your body is going to be surprised. It won't know what's going on. I would say if you are super duper beginning, 3 whole circuit, whole body workouts in a week is all you need to do. Throw in some cardio depending on what your goals are. That means you're going to work all your body on a Monday, all your body on a Wednesday, all your body on a Friday. You're going to take Tuesday, Thursday and the weekend off, and then you're going to do it again. The reason you don't want to continue that on is because eventually you're not going to be giving your muscles enough time to rest, and rest and recovery is when they actually grow. Like, never ever believe anyone that goes, you got to go to the gym every day and work biceps every single time. It's not going to work. Your biceps are going to be so exhausted, and because they're not going to be able to repair themselves, they're actually going to stop, and then you actually, you lifting weights is detrimental to your progress. So if someone actually said to me, if I was somebody's PT and we were going through the whole year, I would probably put them on that kind of program for around about, well, it's going to be different per person, but in my head, probably about 1 to 2 months. And then from month 2 onwards, I would put them on push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs, rest. Just because I'm a massive advocate for it. It is the best plan I've ever done in my life. The alternative to that, if someone didn't like it, I would say Monday you do back and buys, Tuesday you do chest and tries, Wednesday you do legs, Friday you do shoulders, you have the next day off and then you do it again or something like that. That's an old school traditional split. I'm not a biggest fan of that one because to me, you want to be training your muscle parts twice a week, which is why push, pull, legs, rest works so well. I talk about this all the time, but again, I'm trying to educate if I can. It's the best thing I've ever done is starting to train my body parts twice a week. I always thought that was only for people that are on magical special drugs, which I'm not, even though the comments disagree. And then when I actually did start doing it, when I got my own personal trainer, I realized your body can get away with way more than I thought, and it was a massive thing. So in terms of what exercises should I do first? Should I go heaviest first? What does heavy even mean, right? Heavy to me is not heavy to you and vice versa. So don't worry about heaviness to start with. Just worry about time under tension and worry about form. If you want to start with compound movements, what is a compound lift? We'll talk about in a second. That will be good, but that's only because unlike isolation movements, a compound movement is going to work your stabilizer muscles, meaning you're working more of your body, right? So if you do a machine chest press, you're really just going to be working on your chest muscles, where you do a bench press, other muscles are going to come into play. It's a very simplified version for the people that go nuts. It's meant to be simple. But what is a compound lift? Simple. A squat is a compound lift. A bench press is a compound lift. A military press is kind of a compound lift, and a deadlift is a compound lift. And the reason I go through those 4 is they can be your starter exercise depending on what you're doing. So if you're training back, you can start with deadlifts. If you're training chest, you can start with a bench press. If you're training legs, what's going on? If you're starting legs, shut up, brain. If you're training legs, you can start with squats. And if you're training shoulders, you can start with a military press. I'll try and make sure there's pictures all on the screen right now. I can't go to a gym at the moment, so I can't record that footage for you. But you don't have to do it at the start. You don't have to do it at the end. You don't have to do it at all if you don't want, but I would implore that you should kick off your workouts with this, because especially when you first start out, you want to use all your energy on the hardest lifts. These are always going to be the hardest lifts. And absolutely, if you want to do multiple compound lifts in one session, sure. It would mostly become a push workout for me, but would I do bench press and military press? Of course I would. I've said this before, you could just do bench press for your entire session. As long as you push it really hard and you're intense enough, it will work. You will wake up, you'll have delayed onset muscle soreness in your chest, which is a good barometer that you've done something right, but it certainly isn't essential. But The key is always to keep things varied. It's always to keep shaking up for your mentalness so you don't get bored or keep doing the same thing over and over. And also to listen to your body. If things are working, carry on down that path. If you think you've hit a plateau, change it up. Your brain and your body knows. Finish off this bit as well. How many exercises should I be doing per workout for my first time in the gym, and what are sets and reps? Well, sets and reps are nice and simple. A rep is if I'm doing bicep curls and I'm going to do 10 reps, it means I'm just doing 10 movements of the exercise. So if that's my bicep curl, worst form ever, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, like I'm some kind of a robot. And the set is the groups, I suppose, you put them in. So if I'm doing 4 sets of 10, it means I'm going to do 4 groups of 10. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, stop, or rest period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, rest period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, rest period. There's probably a better word out there that you're screaming. I can't think of it right now because it can be quite hard to film those videos. And in terms of exercises, what should you be doing? It's so hard to say. Like, your very first time at the gym, if you're doing a whole body workout, you could do something like chest press, machine press, lat pull downs, pull-ups, or deadlifts and lat pull downs, let's say, and then you could do lateral raises and military press, and then you could do a squat and a leg press. So you're only doing 2 exercises per body part, but when you start breaking them down into smaller categories, you absolutely want to do more. But that's not a beginner thing, that's a moderate thing, that's an advanced thing, and you will know, you'll be able to tell. You can kind of come up with this sixth sense when you actually know when your muscle has had enough. Don't forget the mind-muscle connection. I know it sounds like voodoo, but it is absolutely true. If you can really zone in to where you can feel the muscle, being tense and being whatever word you want to use, it does actually help you. It does. It sounds crazy, but once you do lock it in, you've locked it in. But always remember, start slow, because if you start slow, you have somewhere to go. And that rhymed, and when things rhyme, it means 100% they're true. Next point is, what should I do the first time I go to the gym? There's a bunch of questions here, so I'm just going to answer them as we go. What do I wear? Just normal sports gym stuff. Don't wear jeans. Don't wear those brown Doc Marten boots or Caterpillar. Some people get mad when I say that. You shouldn't be wearing jeans. Sometimes people turn up in shirts. I mean, look, if there's no gym dress code, do it. I think it's offensive. Do I need to bring my own towel? I mean, you probably should bring your own towel, especially in a post-COVID world. So yes, you should bring your own towel. Some gyms, if you go to an expensive one, will give you a towel. Isn't that nice? Should I print out my workout plan, or is it okay on my phone? Phones are fine in 2020. What's not fine is sitting on a machine and doing this for 7 hours. If you're going to have a 2-minute rest and you're going to use that 2-minute rest to input what you just did, what difference does it make if you're doing that or you just sat there staring away? Phones are fine, just use them for the right purpose. Why do some people avoid cardio? Because they're morons. It's absolutely true. They basically think that cardio is going to eat their gains. It's not true. You should do cardio for your heart. What's more important than the health part of health and fitness? Should I keep track of the sets, reps, and weight, or just feel it out? Keep track of everything. I mean it. If you do 10-minute warm-up, write down 10-minute warm-up. If you do 4 sets of 10 reps on the bench press, write it all down. It's so much better when you know where you've been, just for your own ego, but also you can go back and go, oh, you know what? I think I look better in March 2019. What was I doing? Maybe it was part of my training. Maybe it's because in March 2020, I'm eating a bunch of cake. You'll be able to figure it out. Write your diet down as well. It's important. How long should I wait between sets exercises? Again, feel it out. Your body will know. And it kind of changes as well. If you start training for strongman stuff, you want to take a good 3, 4, maybe even 5, 6, 7 minutes space rest, depending on what you're doing. If you're going for time and attention or muscle hypertrophy, I would just say 2 minutes. But you don't have to stick to that like it's a science, but 2 minutes is a good thing to go for. What do I do if someone else is using the equipment I need? You go up to them and you say, how many sets you got left, mate? And then it's me, and I look at you like, son of a bitch, 74, because for some reason that question annoys me. I personally will go and do something else. Because again, what's the difference really between doing pectoral flies and using the cable flies, right? You can just figure out a way to do it. But if you want to ask, just be polite. Grinds my gears. One of those small little things. Is it etiquette to not grunt at all? You should make as little noise as possible, in my opinion, but other people disagree with that, and it depends on the gym. Should I listen to music? It will help you. There are plenty of scientific studies out there that prove it will give you more fuel and give you more power, so I always do. I love it. And you also say, can I make some noise if I'm working really hard? Look, there are people in my gym that they deadlift and they smash the bar into the floor more than they have to, and they just drop it from the top, and they go, bruh. Does it sometimes annoy me? Yes. Does sometimes I not care? No. You know, it just do whatever works for you. Just be polite, right? Just be as polite as you can. If you don't like somebody else doing it, maybe you don't do it. And if you don't care that somebody else is doing it, you can join the grunt club. Next question is, what should it feel like if I'm doing presses for the first time in my life and I've decided to do 4 sets of 12 reps? What should it feel like at the end of each set? Well, if you're doing it right and you're approaching it with the right intensity, you should feel not tired, but your muscles should feel tight in a good way. You should feel like you have expended a lot of energy, and you should feel like you need 2 minutes to rest before you can do it again. I am a big advocate for training for failure. Other people's aren't. I just think that it works. So you should feel like that. You should feel like you've kicked your ass a little bit. If I feel like I can do more, should I, or just wait for the next workout? Well, that depends what you mean. If you feel like you can do more in a set, then you should keep going. So if you've planned to do 12 reps, you smash through 12, keep going. If you get up to 28 reps, then absolutely you need to increase the weight, but that's still better than just putting them down. And in terms of, if you mean overall, if you leave going, oh, I think I could have trained harder, absolutely. Let's just steal a line from Greg Doucette because it sums it up far better than me waffling on. Train harder than last time. That can mean heavier, that can mean more reps, that can mean better form. It can mean everything, as long as each time you feel like you've been more intense. How do I know if I have the correct amount of weight in my hand? Trial and error. Same with diet. Same with actually what is going to work for you in the gym. You just have to try it. Did it work? No. Okay, I'll try it again. I'll make little tweaks here and there. I know it sucks, but I'm not going to lie to you. What if I need to vomit? Well, fair play to you. You've absolutely smashed it. Go and vomit. I mean, make sure you do it in the toilet. I don't necessarily think you need to train to the point you're about to vomit. I don't think it's the army, but it can happen. It's not embarrassing. I've seen people throw up in the gym. And how do I know if I need a spotter? Well, usually you'll be benching and you'll get to here and you won't be able to lock out your arms. You'll be like, I need a spotter. Always go less than you think if you're doing an exercise where you could potentially need a spotter. You don't want to kill yourself. It's no point. And the last question is, what will it feel like the next day or two? Which is actually probably the best question. Why am I so stiff? Should I wait before going back or push through? Is there anything I can do about DOMs? It's going to feel like you got hit by a bus, as long as you've trained correctly. The first time I went for the gym, or the first time I've had a big layoff and I go back, even after the first lockdown, I can't really train legs properly in my house. I do what I can. And I went back and did legs. The next day, oh, it was glorious. Felt like I'd never trained legs in my life. You will feel like you've been hit by a bus. I still would advocate, if you're going for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday routine, go back on Wednesday, because sometimes some of that stiffness can just be lactic acid in your muscles, and actually moving around and having some flexibility will calm it down. So yes, I would go back, but also remember that if you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you get to next Monday and it's really hurting, give yourself an extra day. Once again, listen to your body, make sure you're resting and recovering. And in terms of what you can do about DOMs, you should long for DOMs, because one day DOMs will disappear and you'll be like, why? Why did they go away? I don't understand. And they'll come back and you're like, maybe I didn't train hard enough this time, and you'll hate yourself. Ice baths are good. Glutamine is a supplement a lot of people recommend. I mean, we're talking 1-2%, but it's okay if you want to try it. Stretching will help after you finish the workout. That's something we should talk about too. Get into the habit of doing 10-minute cardio warp out, 10-minute stretching at the end. That will certainly just loosen you up. But otherwise, DOMs are kind of wonderful. Your body will get used to it after a while. It just sucks and you can't get them as much, but I would embrace them and I would enjoy them while they're here, because one day they'll leave you like your first true love. And there you go, a little bit of a longer video than usual, but I really like the idea. Shout out to my man Callum again. Thanks so much for watching, and to everybody, I appreciate it. If you want more stuff like this, just drop a comment below. I always keep an eye on them. I want to give you the content that you want. Also, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell ding ding so you know when other videos are going live. Patreon.com/SimonThe316, Instagram and Twitter at SimonThe316. New merchandise is here. Simon.BigCartel.com. We've got Flex's tees, Flex's tanks, and BLC Club, along with a bunch of other crap I've put up there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you watch another video if you want to continue that YouTube algorithm, and I'll see ya when I see ya.